go.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA.
Not just any edition, but it's the welcome back.
Cotter edition.
Yeah, back from the other side of the world.
Yeah, from down under.
That's crazy. You really did know the future.
I knew the future.
You did.
It happened. I said it. It happened.
The bad motherfucker belt.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Oh, it's
A
crazy.
little bit of news to go on. We got some fights to recap. We had UFC Fight Night to recap.
Yeah.
We got a Fight Nights coming up.
Sad fight
Were you
night
sad?
recap.
Were you sad?
Yeah. Well, not really, because again, I had said it was a bad matchup, but
I looked at your favorite league, PFL. They're not doing anything till October.
right.
So you got some time.
That's when the actual playoffs start.
Bellator will be next week, I believe.
Right.
So, and Ryzen is a couple months away. So, just a little bit of UFC to cover, as well as the news and some of the rumors and things that are going on in the wide world of mixed martial arts. Made some good friends over there in Australia. Some fight fans. Patrick, I don't know if you're ever going to listen, but if you are, this is for you.
What's up, Patty?
He was actually the one that took me from one bar to another bar when they said they were going to have the fight, and then they didn't, and we ended up there, and they also did not have the fight, and we ended up back at the original bar that was pretty sketcy, but had the fight.
There you go. And then the guy who told you that it was going to be on shows up, and he's like,
I told you not to go anywhere.
I can't believe you doubted me. You never doubt me.
Let's get into the news. Speaking of that fight that I got to watch there in Australia, same fight you got to watch here.
Right.
UFC 242 happened, obviously, 2 weeks ago now?
2 weeks ago now.
Yeah. Khabib Nurmagomedov defeated Dustin Poirier, and in that, if you saw the after fight, they switched shirts.
Right.
Dustin Poirier was... Basically, he was put together a charity called the Good Fight Foundation, which also is in a partnership with Justin Wren's Fight for the Forgotten Foundation. And Dustin had swapped shirts with him. Khabib put up his shirt on auction, and he signed it and did a bunch of stuff. All of Dustin's whole fight kit went up on auction. And yeah, so the shirt that Khabib had put up sold for $100,000, which all goes to charity.
When I seen that number, I was just like, really?
For a T-shirt.
No, yeah, 100,000 for his T-shirt,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but that just tells you that's another indication that this sport, is gaining momentum.
Yes, and they said that this money from the charity is going to be building and repairing a ruined water supply at an orphanage in Uganda. Also, when Dana White saw that it sold for $100,000, he also donated $100,000 and matched Khabib's win.
Oh, really? I heard Khabib had kind of goaded him into it. Or
I think there's a little bit on Twitter going back and forth that he should.
Should, okay.
And Dana White did definitely match that.
I mean, of all the ways Twitter's been used lately, that's the best way to use
that's
Twitter.
One of the best ones, because that's what good athletes will do.
Right.
Moving on from there, we have the BMF belt is coming to the UFC. The baddest motherfucker belt that has taken the internet by storm after Nate Diaz's previous press conference where he talked about
where's Sam Jackson in all
that
this?
They should be fighting for the baddest motherfucker belt, that he technically should own the baddest motherfucker belt. Dana White said that they are actually going to have the baddest motherfucker belt. And he said, listen, he goes, he even asked his guys, tell me if I'm crazy, but this thing is taking on a life of its own online and with the fans. Should we actually do this? And of course, the yes men behind the UFC were like, yes.
Yeah.
And so they immediately jumped into it.
Money,
this will be
money,
the
money.
one and only time that the baddest motherfucker belt, much like the money belt that Mayweather and Conor once fought for.
Right.
They're coming up with a belt just for fun. I don't think it's ever going to be defended again. I don't think it's ever going to make its appearance in the UFC again.
I wouldn't say never.
We don't want to go WWE and have like a whole bunch of these random ass belts and make no sense. But this is actually, it's funny.
Yeah.
And good for Nate.
Joey wants to know how come he didn't come back with an accent.
I lost it already.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's the 18-hour flight he lost.
Yeah, 18-hour flight, and that whole time you lose it real quick. Moving on from there, we have Dana White also saying he would like to see Stipe versus DC3, that he is trying to make that happen. They are just waiting.
You guys think that should happen? You guys think that you need a third one? You think Stipe wants that?
Yeah. Now that Daniel Cormier goes, damn. If only if I used wrestling, I might have won again.
Well, I mean, that's what's going to happen. You think I'm just going to sit there and let you punch my gut, Stipe? You think I'm just going to let you punch me in the gut, Stipe?
And then in the face, a bunch of times. Yeah, do you think we need it?
The trilogy?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you have to have it. You have when
would be good.
when it's one and one, you have to have it.
And by TKO.
Like as much as I hate to say it, we need the Conor Diaz trilogy. We need the third fight.
Let's wait some time for that.
But I'm just saying.
They got other fights going on before that.
Because Nate really needs to win all three fights.
Yeah, this was a little bit. I saw this on Instagram the other day and thought, what a fucking idiot. This is Mr. Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee has a Tesla, which has a auto drive.
Right.
Sort of. It's like cruise control, but it also steers relatively.
I don't. Here in California, I see a lot of people in their Teslas doing the things they're not supposed to be doing.
Like Kevin Lee, who's driving his Tesla and playing Super Smash Brothers on his Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
While he's driving, or his car is driving.
Yeah. I hear the big thing, too, on Instagram.
And he says only if he gets in trouble, he'll know because Instagram snitched on him.
Oh, really? I was going to say, because Instagram, I guess a lot of people are having lap sex in these Teslas and putting it on Instagram. So...
Yeah, it is self-driving. However, Tesla would like to remind everyone the current autopilot features require an active driver supervision and does not make the vehicle autonomous.
Hey, let me tell you, some of these Instagrams, these drivers are active. I don't know about driving,
but they're active. They're
active.
Moving along.
They're getting something going on. And the airbags on some of these things.
Activated all the time.
All the time, just bouncing around.
The UFC has decided to create its own end-of-the-year awards called the UFC Honors.
I have to believe that us and, well, we never really had them, but people that we're associated with, like My MMA News had their end-of-the-year stuff. We've actually won a couple end-of-the-year awards.
From multiple places.
Especially from places that don't care for us, but we still won their award. So
like My MMA News, who still doesn't care for us.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah.
So now the UFC will have the UFC Honors President's Choice Award for Performance of the Year and Fight of the Year, and then the fans will be able to vote. We don't know exactly how. Sponsored by Toyo Tires, the Knockout of the Year, Submission of the Year, Event of the Year, and Comeback of the Year.
Hopefully they don't let Ireland vote. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, hopefully it's actually weighted, aggregated voting so that you can't just vote a whole bunch of times for the same guy. You can actually just vote once and they count it each time. We'll see how it ends up going.
Retinal recognition.
They have not yet announced how and when the voting is going to take place. They just said the honors will be announced in December. Winners will be announced before the end of the calendar year.
I think they should let SurveyMonkey do it.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Well, I mean, that is probably the cleanest that I know of that, and it's real hard to manipulate that.
2 UFC fighters have been busted by USADA. Both of them are getting suspended. Both of them are suspended for 2 years. The first one is David Branch. David Branch, former two-division World Series of Fighting Championship, has been released
Eric said he cares for us.
Has been released by the UFC after...
What up, Brains and Brawn?
Testing positive for imprimorelin, which is a substance that mimics growth hormones. So this is like
HGH.
Knockoff HGH?
It's synthetic HGH?
I don't know. It's not quite HGH. It's just maybe it's not human growth hormone. Maybe
it's liquor store. Is it
growth hormone? Is it like elephant growth hormone?
It's liquor store HGH.
Kangaroo.
He probably got it right next to the dick pills.
I've seen those kangaroos, man. They were fucking yoked.
They were.
So we went to a wildlife park where you actually just walk into a fucking paddock full of kangaroos, and they're like, "Yeah, go feed them." But the best part is on the fence before you get in, there's a sign that's this big with a picture, and it's like, if kangaroo does this, and it shows the kangaroo standing up, back away. But that's the only warning. Anywhere.
You can't step to him and go, 2-9, Stockton.
What? Yeah, so he has been suspended by USADA for 2 years, as well as been released by the UFC. Frota has also been hit with a 2-year suspension for straight out steroids.
Well, I mean, look at her physique.
Straight out steroids.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they thought she's
been suspended for 2 months. I don't know.
Maybe they just thought they didn't have enough women and they were just going to let it slide.
She says that she doesn't have enough money to pay the costs of the process with USADA, so she's just going to have to...
Just take it?
Just take it.
That's a shitty aspect of it. You know what I mean? That's like being charged with something and it's just like you got to plead to it because you can't afford your defense.
Sucks.
Yeah. They don't offer an attorney to defend you if you can't afford one.
Ronaldo Jacare Souza has decided to move to light heavyweight and facing Jan Blachowicz at UFC Sao Paulo. I don't know if this is a permanent
Baby Croc.
Now he's bigger Croc.
Oh, he's going
he went
up?
from middleweight
to
light heavyweight.
Okay, all right.
So
Bigger Croc.
He went from Baby Croc, Daddy Croc.
Daddy Croc.
He is moving up. I don't know if this move is 100% permanent, but I would say that it is hard to go up and down.
Like I said, I think it's. I bet it'll be one fight.
You just think it's the one?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, you can check that out. It's going to be going down November 16th in Sao Paulo. Also on that card, we'll see if there's anybody on there. Nogueira versus Trevor Smith. James Krause versus Sergio Morales. And Francisco Trinaldo against Bobby Green.
Bobby Green back on the card.
Back on the card in Brazil.
Yeah. Wasn't he talking about just hanging it up?
I thought he was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was different.
No, maybe this is it.
We also got Dana White talking about negotiations with Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. This was supposed to be the UFC 244 headliner, which is now headlined by the baddest motherfucker in the game belt, Nate Diaz and George Masvidal. A fight we much more appreciate than this one.
Yeah,
however,
a fight that by itself, we could just have those two guys fight that night, and it would sell the card.
I know we had talked about this a little bit over the Skype call that we did, and a little bit before that, Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman, it's for a title. It's a big fight, but most fight fans probably wouldn't recognize the names. Obviously, Colby does his best cringeworthy work on the internet and would garnish, I think, attention for this fight and would definitely sell this fight by himself, a la Chael Sonnen back in the day. Kamaru Usman probably not one to talk trash and do a whole lot. But as a casual fight fan, obviously, if you added the Nate Diaz Jorge Masvidal fight underneath it, that is a card that sells.
Right.
You don't need Colby and Usman to sell that card. Obviously, you have, but if you stack them, that's a pretty good main and co-main event.
I think if you add them again, that goes back to my slices in the pie. I think whatever Masvidal and Diaz put together, I think they deserve the money to split.
Well, this is money was one of the things that caused this fight to collapse. In fact, Dana White says that it's 100% Colby that caused this fight to collapse. He said, "I've heard in interviews after the fight, that was the fight I was going to make. Colby Covington can say whatever he wants." Colby Covington, by the way, saying he was in hostage negotiations.
That's bullshit because you already signed your fight contract and you already knew what your next fight was going to get. And you were just trying to get more money.
This is what Dana White says, "We make fights for a living. That's what we do. We're going to go after guys and say, this is next. This is the date. Do you want to fight?" He wanted more money to fight Usman. We went back and forth, and this is the second time that he's done this with us. We even had a fight in Dallas ready, and he said he didn't want to fight Usman. We said we can give you Tyrone Woodley. He turned that down as well. So either you want to fight or you don't. When he's ready to fight, he will let us know. Colby Covington says he was offered a basic challenger's rate that was a slap in the face, and he refused because it was less than what he made to fight Robbie Lawler.
I don't even know how that. I don't know. I mean, unless he could produce some paperwork or some emails or something of the actual negotiation. Didn't we already? We had somebody do that, right?
Yeah.
Where Dana was like, "No, we offered him more money," and they're like, "No, here it is.
Here's the contract.
This is exactly what I was offered."
I don't know.
It's hard to believe anything that's coming out of Colby's mouth, but it's even harder to believe anything that's coming out of Dana's mouth.
Oh yeah, it's very, very hard.
And because they're saying Usman wasn't part of the problem at all, he's not going to say anything one way or the other.
Dana White has, however, said though that with the Masvidal Diaz, that this fight is a big deal for the division. It's going to be who's next for the title picture, and obviously it is a huge fan favorite.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't for title contention. It's a big fight.
It's a big fight. Yeah, I like this fight
because we've watched both these guys come up, not only fighting in the UFC, but if you've been a fan of the internet, you've grew up watching Diaz fight people outside of the ring, and you grew up watching Masvidal fight people outside of the ring. So this is, for a lot of us, it's a dream come true because it was like, man, what if this guy got into the professional sport and did it?
Yep.
And both these guys are there, and they're both getting it done.
Yeah, this is going to be a great fight. Bellator 231 taking shape. Former WWE star Jake Swagger, Hager. We got to put it all together. As well as Beck Hyatt, all on this card. This is going down October 25th in Connecticut. We will get more on that as they come out. But just to let you know, Rowdy Beck Rawlings is getting her first fight in Bellator, and Jack Hager is back for Bellator.
See, I mean, so now you got Rowdy Beck, and again, I wouldn't, she's a top 10 fighter in her weight division, I'd say. So, I mean, Bellator's definitely putting it together.
This is somebody also that they like to partner with. We're going to talk about Rizin real quick. Rizin MMA in Japan. Rizin Fighting Championships. They are doing a lot of things with Bellator that they're co-promoting. They're talking about that we may see by the end of the year, possibly the start of next year, a Rizin Bellator co-card like Dynamite, like they've done in the past.
But instead of
Dreams,
instead of kickboxing, it's going to be
a big combination event. They've already announced for their their lightweight tournament going down in October. You're going to see Bellator fighter Patricky Ferreri going up against Tayatsa Kawajiri. That is an awesome fight to see. So make sure you check that out. We'll get more details as they come along. But yeah, I like the way that Bellator is co-promoting with Rizin. I really like that kind of thing.
Yeah, because it just shows that it's not about beating the other. It's about let's get as much MMA out as we can get out.
For sure.
And
then we had, let's go over.
Let's beat the big guy.
We had UFC Fight Night, Cowboy versus Gaethje. UFC Fight Night 158. UFC Fight Night, UFC on ESPN Plus 16. UFC Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Big night of fights. I got to see this on my laptop while overseas, which I guess most of you would see if you have ESPN Plus. I don't know. Do you have ESPN Plus on the TV yet? Is it like an app? Like you have Hulu and Netflix built into a thing?
I have it in my Apple TV.
Okay, so yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's go over. You want to go over everything in the main card? What are we looking at?
Let's just run through the whole thing.
Run it. A lot of names. All right. Austin Hubbard gets the win over Kyle Prepolek.
Yep.
Louis Smolka over Ryan McDonald.
Right, and Smolka really needed this, and he got it.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. I was happy for him. Chaz Skelly gets the win over Jordan Griffin. Hunter Azur gets the win over Brad Katona. Miles Johns over Cole Smith. And Augusto Sakai over Marcin Tibera with a knockout, round 1, a minute in.
Poor Tibera.
Man, that was huge. Then over to your main card, you have Misha Kurkanov gets the win over Jimmy Crute. Uriah Hall gets the win over Antonio Carlos Jr.
God, this is
How
hard.
did Uriah Hall look for you?
I'm not impressed.
Still not impressed with him?
Still not impressed. I'm not. I mean, and look, it was a split decision, and I don't think the decision went his way. I mean, it did, but in my books...
What, should have gone the other way?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a big... When it's like
you
this...
You a big draw fan? You want draws?
Well, if nobody's
jumping out... somebody.
No, I know, but if nobody's jumping out in front...
All right. Tristan Conley gets the win over Michael Pereira. Todd Duffy gets a big win over Jeff Hughes.
And this is a bit... And I mean...
And by big win, I mean it's a no contest.
Yeah. Exactly.
Accidental eye poke. Man, hate to see a fight end like that.
This next one I was really surprised by.
Glover Teixeira gets the win over Nikita Krylov.
And he did win, but...
Split decision?
It was
pretty close.
Surprise that I
thought Krylov was going to do better?
Yeah, I thought Krylov was going to do a lot better.
You think Glover's on his downswing?
I don't know, because Krylov's younger, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he held it in there with the younger cat. I thought for sure Krylov would walk away with it.
And then your main event.
This is no surprise to me.
Sadness.
Is the sadness. I told everybody when this fight was signed.
Justin Homer Simpson Gaethje.
It was, and I think the fact that he called him Homer Simpson, because he said, this is like the third person to call me Homer Simpson. He's going to be the third person to knock out. I hate that name.
Gets the win over Donald Cowboy Cerrone, TKO round 1 at 4:18.
Do you think it was the Desperado outfit that Cerrone came out?
Definitely odd. Definitely an odd outfit.
I thought it would have been fun if he came out as Colonel Sanders, because everybody's been doing the Colonel Sanders thing.
They swap spots in the rankings to the rankings that don't matter from the shitheads that run the rankings over at the UFC. By the way, if you're on Reddit, most of that research that was in that big fucking post that went out right here, your friend, right here.
So
I did
what?
That like a year
ago. You didn't
ago.
put it on Reddit.
No, I put it on my MMA news, and they should be bigger than Reddit.
Yeah, they are bigger than Reddit.
Get on it.
That's right.
Eric.
But we all know when you put it on Reddit, you're just putting your balls out there because you could get downvoted real quick.
You can get downvoted
by a bunch of people who are mad because they didn't do the research.
Yeah, but he also did a little more research. He went into more detail than I think I did in the original article.
How big of you to admit that?
Yeah, he did a little bit more.
He did. He
was
went
a
above.
Reporter. And they were like, "This is what investigative journalism should be." I know it should be because I tried. Anyway, where does Donald Cowboy Cerrone go from here? He is now on a 2-fight skid. Not too bad. He's been on a 3-fight before. He's on a 2-fight skid. He has got knocked out.
I think he should be ready to fight by Halloween.
He has got knocked out in his last 2 fights. Mind you, one of them was a nose blow. He was still going to lose. probably by TKO in that fight anyway against Tony Ferguson. Now he's knocked out by Justin Gaethje. Where does he go from here, man?
Sign the next fight.
Just sign the next fight.
Yeah, because it's to Gaethje. I don't think like you really
know if he wants to do that for his little man. He just maybe wants to spend more time as a dad.
Yeah,
he might have to hang him up.
Oh,
he wasn't beat. He, in his words, I wasn't beaten retarded, but
it doesn't come quickly. He doesn't know yet.
It's not today.
Yeah,
it's not when you wake up and be like, man, I lost that fight. I bet you I got beat really hard.
Yeah, it's when he comes home from the park and he's like, damn it, I left little man.
Doing this.
Yeah.
Can't hold his hand straight.
Got the shakes, the tremors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's why he's been taking so many fights so fast, is just like to stack that cheddar,
Yeah. Justin Gaethje, does he get the baddest motherfucker challenge coin here and fights the winner of? I mean, it's a completely different weight class, but
I wouldn't say he's the baddest motherfucker. I would say at this point he's probably one of the most dangerous.
They say he is the most violent. Because he has 100% finish rate.
MVF, most violent fighter.
I know back in the day, one of the old Sherdog writers used to have the all violence team.
Yeah. How many were on that team?
Every year he would do 5 fighters of the all violence team in each weight class. Yeah.
Could you name 5 right now?
I know at one point Eddie Alvarez was one. I know at one point Jose Aldo was one. I know at one point what's his name? Yeah, I have to think about it, but yeah, it's basically guys who had like 100% finish rate.
What about now? Who would you be your 5?
I mean, Gaethje's got to be up there, right?
Gaethje's on 1.
He's definitely got to be up there.
Masvidal, one of them right now.
Masvidal's probably one of them still. You got guys that have high finish rates and that have high, constant action.
Khabib. No, not yet.
I don't know.
Isn't that real violent because he's so technical?
Yeah. These are guys that just throw it out there nonstop. I mean,
Usman? What about Usman, though?
Nate's got to definitely be up there.
You think Usman's
used to be one of those guys.
You think Usman's violent? No.
He's technical, man. He's too technical. Looking at these right here, I would say Ferguson, Gaethje, Cerrone used to be.
What about
Barbosa? Still
what about Adesanya? He's pretty.
Yeah, I like him. I like the way it looks. Yeah, I'd go with that. Justin Gaethje. But where do you see him going from here? Again, let's not talk about him jumping weight classes and do the most violent. Anyway, do you think he gets a title shot? Do you think he fights Khabib or Tony? Would you see either one of those?
What happened? Did your mic go out?
I don't know. Did it go out?
All right, we're good.
We're back?
We're back.
All right.
Yeah, you went out for a minute.
Okay, so that's for real serious now. Justin Gaethje, does he get a title shot against Khabib / Tony Ferguson? Should he be the next guy?
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, right?
Right. I mean, because Poirier got his shot.
He got his shot. He's done.
Well,
not done, but
Yeah,
but he's not a title guy anymore. Right, he's got to move down.
He's got to get the.
I would like to see Dustin versus Conor. Let them run that back the way it should be run back. Yep. And I think Gaethje should get the next title shot after, obviously, Tony Ferguson could be.
Because didn't Dustin took Conor on short notice too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So give him a full camp.
And then moving on from there, we have UFC Fight Night. What do we got here? UFC Fight Night 159. UFC on ESPN Plus 17. UFC Fight Night Rodriguez versus Stevens. UFC Fight Night Mexico City. I'm starting to run out of throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting real scratchy. On ESPN Plus, which you can apparently now get on an app.
Yeah.
On your TV and or Apple TV and or Roku and or Fire Stick, whatever it is. Make sure you check that out. You got Claudio Perez going up against Marcos Rosino Marano. You got Sahara Eubanks going up against Beth Herrera. Pretty good fight.
Yeah.
Both of them need the win for sure.
I'm just going to stare at Betch's butt.
Vinicius Moreira going up against Paul Craig. Sergio Pettis going against Tyson Nam. I like that fight a lot. I'm taking Nam in that fight. Arani Cornelosia going against Angela Hill.
I can't wait to see how Angela Hill weighs in.
Polio Reyes going against Kyle Nelson. And Jose Alberto Quinones going up against Carlos Huchian.
I just like Quinones because the way that Buffer says his name.
Yeah.
Quinones.
Martin Bravo on your main card, starting it off against Steven Peterson.
Also known as Johnny. Johnny Bravo.
Irene Aldana going against Vanessa Mello. Brandon Moreno going up against Askarov.
That's going to be a great fight.
Co-main event, Carlos Esparza against Alexa Grasso. That's a great fight.
Man. Who
you got in that one?
I'm gonna take Alexa because Carla's back and forth.
Yeah.
You never know who's gonna show up.
Yeah.
But if the true Carla shows up, I think she can pull it off. But on the back and forth, Alexa's more consistent with her style of fighting.
Nice. And your main event, this could be an all violence fight right here. I would put these guys.
Or it could be I'm scared of you, you're scared of me.
No, I'm saying all violence fight. Yair Rodriguez against Jeremy Stephens.
Because the first time he fought Woodley, we thought it was going to be an all violence fight.
I like this fight.
Yeah?
I like this fight a lot. I'm going to go Stephens.
You're taking Stephens?
I'm going to go Stephens.
You think you're going to be spinning shit?
Although I like Yair.
Yeah? Think you're going to be spinning shit?
There might be.
There might be some stuff.
Who do you got in this one? Yair or Stephens?
I'm taking Yair.
Yair?
Yeah, I got Rodriguez.
All right, and his hometown, right?
Yeah.
Or not in the hometown, but home country at least, Mexico. And that's it. That's your week of fights, your recaps, your rumors, your stuff. Always brought to you by Walkie Craft, man card. Get yourself a man card. These giant things right here. Not quite this giant, but you can get yourself a badass bottle opener.
Yeah, and if you can find a bottle to open it with, that's even better.
They got chick cards. They got fisherman cards. They got all kinds of shit. Kevin does an amazing job with Walkie Craft. We also got My MMA News. We do this every week, once a week. They do this every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year.
And we've got a really good-looking writer just got on staff.
Not even going to touch that, sir.
Yeah.
Not going there.
He works out, I believe.
Also, Dependable Solutions. If you take credit cards or do any sort of digital business, they could save you up to 75% off of your credit card doing business. And as always, we are brought to you here by SynCal Studios, SynCal Tattoo and Piercing, here in the 209. But
SynCal Glass Shop is back open.
SynCal Glass Shop just reopened again, which is fantastic. For
3117 McHenry Avenue.
Smoking needs.
They're in Suite A, I believe.
Are we Suite B?
Yeah. No matter what. No matter how. We're in the Suite B.
And that's it. That's your week of fights. That's your week of news. That's your week of split decision. What do you think?
Glad to have it.
All right.
And maybe,
What?
maybe we'll see us.
Maybe, yeah. We'll have a good night. We'll see you guys.